I appreciate you watching this video. But on to the video. What is reality? I think our reality is a slice of the source reality. Like in the same way that we only see the colors that we see because they're electromagnetic waves or vibrating on the frequency that is within the visible light spectrum that we can perceive. In the same way that we only hear sounds that vibrate within the sound spectrum that we also can perceive. But our perception of our perceptions of those things are small compared to the entire light and sound spectrum. Like we're only seeing a portion, a very small portion. So for me, it makes sense that our reality exists on a similar spectrum. And we perceive the sound and the light frequencies attached to this reality. So there could be countless realities or planes of existence on a spectrum, and we just are not aware of the other ones. But they could be right here, right beside us, all around us, all the time. And we would never be able to see, hear, or experience anything from them. But maybe some beings are able to move through those frequency barriers. And they would appear to phase through things. They would appear out of nowhere and they would disappear into nowhere because we couldn't see through the barrier they just crossed. And they wouldn't have to travel across space, vast distances. They would be around us all the time, but our senses are just not aware. For example, you take a group of people, you put them in a dark room, and you tell them to not make a sound or a movement. No sound, no movement. In a dark room, just stay still, sit still, don't move. You wouldn't know anybody was there. You would have no way of registering that anybody was around you because they're not activating your senses, if that makes sense. It's just so we are a prisoner to our five senses. Like what we are able to see and experience is based on what our five senses can calculate or can register. Can register. So you think about it like that, is you know that there's things outside of your visible spectrum and outside of your sound spectrum and all of that. So it would make sense that it's like we are tuned to this reality, but that doesn't mean that this is the only one. But it's almost like the universe gives us what we can handle, because like our minds they're complex, but they're not devoid of animalism, or they're not devoid of stupidity. Like, or not stupidity, but instincts. Like, like instincts are survival, and certain things that we have in order to survive, but doesn't really serve a purpose on a higher level, like that. We have those things, so it's like we kind of should be stuck to this reality, but maybe they know how to escape it or get out, but they wouldn't tell us. But that's a video for another day. But I think that is the reason that a lot of the UFO and UAP reports say that they are interdimensional, because they don't have to travel light years across space. They right here all around us. We can't perceive them. Now, I'm not saying that all UFOs or UAPs are interdimensional, because I don't know, but I mean, and there's also reports of them traveling, from star systems and that type of news or fake news, whatever, however you want to take that. Like, because I'm not gonna pretend like I know or none of that, but this is just my theory. This is my perspective of reality, like of what it could be, just because based off of knowing the light spectrum and the sound spectrum. Like if I know those two things exist and I know that we can't see everything on them, then why couldn't there be realities that exist on those same spectrums? And if that's the case, and we have multiple realities, or we have multiple planes of existence, then that would have to like bring in the question of what is actually real. If there's more than one plane of existence, then what is real? Because
I have a theory on what's real, but I want to know what y'all think.